Everyone in town believed she never opened his letters. They whispered that she ignored him, that she did not care, that she let his words rot in a crooked mailbox. But the truth was stranger. The truth was darker. And the truth was more heartbreaking than anything he could imagine. Because every letter he ever sent was read aloud to someone who shared his face. Make sure you stay till the end. This story will change the way you see silence forever. Ethan Hale was never the loud boy in any room. He blended into corners. He kept his head down. He lived quietly inside the routine of school days that never seemed to change. But he wrote. Writing made him feel brave. And that was how everything began, with a girl named Leora Hart and a shaking hand holding a pen. He noticed her long before she noticed him. She always sat by the window. The sunlight always touched her face. Her hair fell forward every time she read. She answered questions with quiet confidence. She moved gently, as if she never wanted to disturb anyone. Yet she filled every space she walked into. She fascinated him in a way he could never explain. He could not bring himself to speak to her. So one afternoon he wrote her a letter. He did not plan to send it, but he sealed it anyway. He passed her old blue house. He hesitated at the iron gate. Then he slipped the letter into the crooked mailbox. He expected embarrassment to crush him, but instead he felt something like relief. The next day nothing changed. She did not look at him. She did not smile. She did not show any sign that she had found his letter. So he wrote another one, then another, and another. Days turned into months. Months turned into years. By the time they turned 18, he had written more than 200 letters, each one signed only with the letter E. He wrote about fear, about loneliness, about the way she brought quiet into his noisy mind. He wrote about dreams he had never said out loud. She never replied, not once. People noticed. Some laughed at him. Some said she probably threw the letters away. Others called him foolish. But Ethan kept writing, because every time he told himself to stop, another letter formed inside him without asking for permission. When he turned 20, he prepared to leave town for university. On his last day, he wrote her a 12-page letter, the most honest thing he had ever created. For the first time, he signed his full name. He walked to her house at dusk. He slipped the letter into the mailbox. Then he walked away, hoping for a single reply. He never received one. He moved to a new city. He tried to build a new life. He tried to forget the letters. But the heart does not forget on command. Sometimes a blue envelope reminded him of her. Sometimes a crooked mailbox felt like a memory tugging at him. Time moved forward, but the past stayed quietly behind him. 2 years later, his mother called. Ethan, Leora wants to see you. She says she owes you the truth. When he returned to Alder Street, the blue paint on her house had faded. The mailbox leaned even lower. Leora waited on the porch. She looked older, not in age, but in weight, as if she had been carrying something heavy for a long time. Ethan, she said softly. It was the first time she had ever spoken his name. She led him inside. He stopped in the hallway. Every wall was lined with shelves. The shelves were filled with letters. His letters, stacked, tied with ribbon, organized by date, preserved like priceless things. You kept them, he whispered. I did, she said. Everyone. You read them. Every night. Then why never reply? Leora looked at him. Her eyes held a truth he was not ready for. Because they were not for me. Ethan stood completely still. Leora opened a door at the end of the hallway. Inside the room was soft machine noise. A bed, a figure lying motionless. A young man, pale, still, silent. Ethan froze. The boy on the bed had his face, the same features, the same jaw, the same still expression. It felt like staring at a photograph of himself. This is Aiden, Leora said, my twin brother. He has been in a coma since we were 14. Ethan could not form words. The year you sent your first letter, she continued, I recognized your handwriting. I knew it was you, but I also found something else. A note in Aiden's room. He wrote that he admired you, that he wished he could talk to you, that something about you stayed with him. He wrote that the world felt easier when you were near. Ethan felt the world shift. So when your letters started coming, Leora said, I read them to him every night because I thought your voice might reach him. I thought something familiar might bring him comfort. She picked up a letter. The edges were worn from use. Your words became his routine, she said, his peace, his connection, and they became mine too. Ethan walked slowly to the bed. He stood over Aiden, his mirror, his silent reflection, the stranger who somehow knew him. You never opened the letters, Ethan whispered, because you were saving them for him. Leora nodded. I hoped he would wake to them. He swallowed. What about the last one? The long one? I read it to him over and over. Every time I did, his heartbeat steadied. He never woke, but he calmed. He rested. Something soft and painful opened inside Ethan. He placed his hand on Aiden's still hand. Aiden, he whispered, I did not know, but I am here now. The room went quiet. Then Aiden's fingers twitched. Just a small movement. Almost nothing, but real. Leora gasped. Ethan stepped closer. His heart thundered. Aiden, she whispered. Another faint twitch. He has not done that in months, Leora said, voice shaking. Ethan looked down at Aiden. A connection he could not explain tied them together. Aiden did not wake that day, but something changed. Something small, something alive. Ethan stayed in town for weeks. He visited every day. He read letters aloud. Leora listened quietly. Her eyes often filled with tears she tried to hide. There were no confessions, no romantic rush, only something steady, something honest, something human. One warm afternoon, sunlight filled the room. Ethan placed a new unsealed letter on the table. Leora picked it up. No envelope. It is not meant to be delivered, he said. It is meant to be read when you are ready. She held it gently. And him? She asked. Ethan touched Aiden's hand again. I think he already knows. Outside, the iron gate creaked. The crooked mailbox leaned in the wind. And inside the blue house, the shelves stood quiet and patient. Each envelope held a moment, a feeling, a silent truth, a story written in ink, a bond carried through years, a connection no one else would ever understand. The world never learned why the girl never opened his letters. But Ethan did, Leora did, Aiden did, and the truth belonged to them alone.